Hello and welcome to another episode of our talk show. Today in our studios we have Anjali Nandanji. Anjali Nandanji is a Bharatanatyam and Mohiniattam dancer and a guru who runs a school called Natyam Academy of Performing Arts. So Anjali ji, welcome to the talk show.
Thank you, Saravana ji.
Yeah. I think we would like to know is your dance journey, like when you started and how did you reach this position at the moment?
Okay, I think I started when I was in my third grade.
Third grade.
Not out of my interest, but it was absolutely forced by my mother. And that's how I got started into dancing. And then eventually, as and when I moved ahead, there was always an encouragement at home. There were several times where I didn't want it to go because my teacher was very strict.
Okay.
So, generally, so that's why there was a point where I would not go, but then my mom would go push me. And my teacher was also such that she would come home and take me. So that kind of thing, which continued. And then I completed Visharad with my teacher. Visharad is it's an exam that you give by the board that is given. And
Okay.
then after Visharad, my first teacher's program was over. And thereafter, I moved on to when she stopped coming and that was over, then we moved on to another school
Okay.
for my further lessons on Mohiniattam and Bharatanatyam. And that was a Kalamandalam style. What I learned from my first teacher was Pandanalur style.
Okay, so that's a different style of Bharatanatyam. And the graduation that you did, it's not Arangetram, it's a proper graduation, the Visharad?
So Visharad is an exam that you pass. There are
Okay.
several exams that you start. You start from Prarambhik, then you go to Madhyama, after Madhyama, and then you keep on rising, and then there is a Visharad exam. Even after Visharad, you have Alankarams and everything like that.
Okay.
But here I am at a position of Visharad where you are considered to be, fairly qualified for Bharatanatyam.
Bharatanatyam. Okay. So after Visharad, like once you finish Visharad, then you started Mohiniattam. So did you have anything similar to Visharad for Mohiniattam, or that's just generic dance?
So what happened was when I moved to another teacher, and there we started off with Bharatanatyam from where I stopped.
Okay.
So this is Kalamandalam is another school which was established in Kerala by a very famous poet called Mahakavi Vallatol
Okay.
to revive Kerala arts at one point of time. So it was Kathakali that was its main focus, and thereafter Mohiniattam. So
Okay.
these teachers who were trained in Kalamandalam, they were living where I was living. They were brought there,
Okay.
and they were living. And my Sri Ambujakshan was taking care of all of them. He ran the school.
Okay.
And that's where all these teachers lived, and thankfully we got in touch with him. And then they started Bharatanatyam there, so I went there for Bharatanatyam. Eventually I understood they also teach Mohiniattam, and Mohiniattam is from Kerala, and my native language is Malayalam.
Okay.
So that's why you tend to learn what is back in your roots as well.
Yes.
So that's how I started off learning Mohiniattam.
Mohiniattam.
Yes.
Okay. So does Mohiniattam also has something like the Arangetrams that we do here, or?
Yes, Mohiniattam also you can graduate and do your Arangetram in Mohiniattam, but I have not done Arangetram in Mohiniattam.
Okay.
No, it is always learning, and I'm still learning from my current teacher, who's Ashwati Shrikant.
Okay. So you're right now you're teaching, but you're also learning. So are you learning?
Yes, I'm not teaching Mohiniattam. I'm only learning Mohiniattam.
Mohiniattam.
I teach Bharatanatyam.
Okay. And are you still learning Bharatanatyam, or?
Yes, Bharatanatyam now I learn in terms of attending different workshops whenever I
Okay.
get a chance. Otherwise, mostly I spend so much time teaching, so it is more of a reflection on whatever I learn. So you
Learn.
have to eventually choreograph.
That
So when
is
you choreograph, when you teach, you learn and you create new things anyway. So that itself is a learning. I also take extra training on rhythm. I currently train from Guru Bharadwaj, who is in Chennai, and he is the one who trains me in the math, in the rhythm,
Okay.
actually. So,
So when you talk about rhythm, I assume you're talking about the Natvangam, the talam piece,
correct,
right?
correct,
Okay.
exactly.
So the math would be, one is the Natvangam, and then the second piece is how you complement or work with the accompanying musicians, right? Like Mridangam.
Correct. So rhythm is always, you have to have the knowledge of the talam, and every talam has cycles, and that cycles will have certain number of aksharas, and those aksharas are divided into different number patterns.
Okay.
So how did these number patterns develop in these jatis is what you learn the math
Okay.
when you learn Natvanga talams. So that's what we are trained in during those sessions. Yeah.
And is this specific to Bharatanatyam, or is it s- applicable to other dance forms too?
It is applicable to most of the classical dance form. All the dance forms, I would say, largely, whoever uses rhythm a lot. Bharatanatyam definitely. Kathak, full of rhythms.
Full of rhythm, yes.
And then Mohiniattam also has rhythms.
Okay.
And then I recently worked with a Satriya dancer, for a performance yesterday. They also have different rhythms and talams going
Nice.
on.
Okay.
Most of our classical dance do have percussion. So if you have percussion, you have rhythm.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. So, apart from teaching in person, I know that you started a website. I think that's one of the first websites for having Bharatanatyam information online.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
how did that even start? Like, what triggered you to start, and are you still maintaining it? And
Yes, this website is onlinebharatanatyam.com. It was a time in, I would say, early 2000s
okay,
when blogging and vlogging was a thing.
okay,
Okay, I didn't know. I'm not into IT, so so this is what something my husband Nandan introduced me to, a blog. Why don't you blog? That was a time when I was very newly married, and
okay,
moving along wherever he's moving to different cities. So with my little one, my older one, who was then like 1 year old or something like that, and that's when you mostly at home, and what do I do? So I think he found out a better way to engage me, introduce me to what blogging is.
okay,
That's how I started blogging on Bharatanatyam.
okay,
Though there were several websites, and I was telling him, there's already information on Bharatanatyam. Abhi kya karne ka hai? So I said we can have video logs. We can have videos as well. That's when teaching happened through videos. So
okay,
when those videos came up, it was a big encouragement from outside of India. That was especially the traffic was from places like United States, Australia.
oh,
That's how the traffic came in, where people were outside of India had a lot of scope at that point of time. Most of the comments, most of the encouragement came from there.
okay,
And that's how I started adding video content based on how Bharatanatyam dance progresses. It began with Namaskaram to
okay.
now what it is right now. So now we have content until the intermediate advanced levels
Oh,
of,
nice.
in the website.
And you're still maintaining the website
Yeah,
and
I'm still maintaining the website in terms of adding more theory content.
okay,
Yes, and we do have a community portal called Heartbeat and Communities at onlinebharatanatyam.com, where my students join in, and they have several courses in there where they can take the courses.
courses.
Yeah.
So these videos, do they have dances, or it's more to learn Bharatanatyam?
To learn, that's how I started. Basically, it
Okay,
was learning Bharatanatyam online, and it started from the very basic step of tattadava, how to tap.
okay,
And then it progressed to all the adavus, moving to several dances in our Bharatanatyam repertoire, Bharatanatyam Margam.
Margam. Okay. So in other words, if I just want to know, hey, what is Padam, or what is Varnam, or what is Pushpanjali, so
Correct.
I'll be able to read about
Yes.
what it is and
Yes.
how it is part of the Margam, etc.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is helpful because that is one area where I think parents would definitely benefit if my kid is learning Bharatanatyam, and uh, this website, this information definitely helps when my kid says, "Hey, I'm learning this particular item," then I know what exactly she's talking about.
Yes.
So that is very
That is
helpful.
like in 2007, say, so almost how many years back this started. So that was a time where there was not much videos on this,
That is
and
correct.
even learning online was something people had not thought about.
Very new
It
concept.
was I don't know, it was even appreciated at that point of time, but that's how the videos came about. And then eventually I came to United States, and
Okay.
that's when people said, why don't you meet me online and take a class?
Oh, okay.
So video classes began when I landed United States somewhere in 2008.
Okay.
So we started video lessons, teaching students online, and that time we had students from United States, Germany, Australia, and it slowly came up. And finally, it was pandemic when everything got
Got
online.
online. Oh, 2008. Yes.
Yeah.
So you landed directly in Dallas area, or you
No, I was in Arkansas,
Arkansas? So you used to
Little
teach
Rock,
there, and
Arkansas.
then when you moved, you continued teaching here.
Yes, exactly.
That, that is it. So it was a blessing for you since
It
you
was a
already
blessing.
had
It
a
was a
online.
Exactly, it was a online presence that helped me. uh, when I came to Dallas and I moved to every city from then, that was 2008, 2010, 2012. There were occasions when I was sitting and people would come and tell me, I have seen your video because I was learning Bharatanatyam.
Bharatanatyam, nice.
And that's how things happened to me. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apart from being a teacher, a guru teaching, do you also are you also a performing artist?
Yes, I do perform whenever I get a chance, or when I'm called for performance. I perform for my students,
Okay.
as well as whenever I'm called for a performance.
Okay.
Yes.
So as a performer, what are the typical challenges that you faced, and is there anything that we can fix it?
As a performer, challenges where? Do you have any specific areas where you want to?
It could be like you just go on stage and then things are not working as it's expected, or um, any technical challenges.
So, for performing as such, the challenges, to me, let me start from me, because if I have to dance, basically, maintaining yourself as a dancer is a very important requirement.
Mhm.
Your body has to be agile firstly
That is correct.
for a performance. So that training you definitely have to do beyond whether you're teaching or whether you're performing. That training is a separate thing.
Mhm.
Me as a dancer. Then when you get onto the stage is something that while dancing I don't have control of that.
That is correct.
I have to just keep dancing. There was an occasion where when I was on stage, the audio just stopped there. Now what do you do? Then you continue dancing and the
Dancing,
audio eventually came up.
camshaps.
So technical things, I do not have control of it, but all that I have control of, my
Is
practice.
yes. No, this is interesting. So if there is one
But
challenge, it is beyond your control.
yes, once you get onto the stage, if you are clear, your mind is focused, you are available, but other technicalities is not in my control.
Okay.
There are certain occasions where you are dancing with the orchestra. When you're
Mhm.
dancing with the orchestra, there has to be a lot of understanding between you and the
Musician.
musicians. So that when we practice, the singer has to look at me, and even I have to give some kind of an indication to them that I am trying to change something or moving ahead. So
Okay.
that understanding is always there.
So that communication is
That
continuously
communication
happening.
has to be there.
Okay.
If that is not there, you may have several extra repetitions, and that sometimes happens because in abhinayam you cannot stick to, like, I need 7 repetitions
That
over. That's not
that
possible.
is correct. Yes.
The musicians have to follow the talam, and also see the singer.
Then
But then you have to have that spontaneity on stage to be able to.
Dynamically adjust, right?
Yes.
Okay. Talking about the same area, you said as a dancer your body has to be agile and flexible. So when you're teaching, do you teach your kids certain exercises, maybe stretching or some movement that will help them get more flexible?
Yes, we start the dance class with an exercise routine.
Okay.
It's about a 10-minute exercise routine that we do. And we encourage them to do it beyond dance classes as well,
Okay.
which includes the initial warm up, loosening of your bones, a little bit. Then definitely you squat and get up.
Okay.
Then your splits and sitting in aramandi for about 100 count. Then
Wow.
jumping higher, and then from the jump you sit down in
Land.
Mudamandi.
Okay.
All these are training for the students. And now when the student train for Arangetram, when they have to dance for 2 hours, uh, we train them with weights as well. So they
Oh.
have to, their muscles have to be so strong that, so that they can stand there on the stage for that much of time.
Time.
So weight training is also a part of Bharatanatyam, or any dance for that matter.
This is interesting. I didn't know about weight training
Yeah,
happening
it
for
is required for your muscles to develop. Otherwise, you will be tired very soon.
Okay. And as a guru, any challenges that you faced
For
when teaching?
teaching, challenges are in terms of getting across an idea in abhinayam to the kids who are here now. Our abhinayam pieces are slightly, it's a concept of, when you come to proper arangetram where there is a hero and a heroine, those ideas, when the poet has written, he wrote it from the point of view of the higher self,
Correct.
and as a jivatma, so this heroine that is pining for the Lord is the jivatma pining to be with the higher conscious.
Yes.
So this concept, when it comes, it is generally very difficult for us as teachers to explain to the young girls. So when I teach them in class, I stick to bhakti.
Okay.
I stick to bhakti pieces a lot. Even varnams, when you present varnam, when you see artists coming and presenting, the varnams are usually Shringara padams or Shringara varnams.
Okay.
When I teach, I stick to bhakti.
Okay.
Bhakti concept is more comfortable for me when I train children this young until they are 17 or 18.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the challenge sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is a big challenge, because what was in poet's mind, these kids have to somehow interpret and then also deliver. So definitely, I think
Yeah,
one of the
abhinayam
biggest
is sometimes a challenge.
challenge.
But other than that, I don't know if you're very specific, I can give you what.
Just curious about as a guru, what challenges you face. Curious, like, is someone, some dancer or a guru who inspired you?
To get started, of course, my mother, there is always that people at home who push you a lot. And I'm really thankful for that. And inspiration, eventually, when you catch that idea that you want to dance, um, you will get an inspiration within you. Otherwise, you cannot dance, because dance is an expression of joy. So once you find your area where you're comfortable, I think the joy will automatically come about.
Okay.
And inspiration, in the sense, I watch so many dancers when they perform, and certain I not sometimes everything that they perform, you may not be happy with that, but you take things that you really like.
Like,
But watching dancers, watching artists perform is very, very important to everybody, and that we do definitely.
yes.
Yeah, I cannot say pick one or two people, but there are so many people whom I would definitely, I watch, or I love to watch them
That's
dance.
interesting. As a guru, you might have encountered where kids join, they are doing good, and then sometimes they quit. So typically, do they tell you why they are quitting, and if there is any way you can help, you help them to bring them back?
Yes, quitting do happen. There are two levels where people quit. One is around age 8 and 9. Another one is around age 12 or 13. You know, if the 12 or 13 part is over, then they will continue until you finish. Is for sure. It's a
Okay.
guarantee. But around kids who start very young, around I have heard people start at 3.5. I don't take students that young. I take students only when they are about in their kindergarten, around 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
So when they start at that time, the training of the basic steps take about 2 years, 2.5 years.
Okay.
There are 90 basic steps that we teach in our style. So it takes about 2 years, 2.5 years to complete. Some people come in that first year itself, people will quit
Okay.
because they don't have the patience to go through that, because it's like they thought that it was like music, dancing and everything, but you have to stick to the talam and
Talam.
everything. So that is one phase where you people might quit. Next is they go through the basics, and then sometimes there is a learning curve that happens around 8. When things starts getting difficult,
Correct.
so only the tough gets going at that point of time.
Okay.
So that's when people generally they quit around that age, because they feel that I'm not able to do it somewhere, something. I have no reason there to say, but sometimes they fall back, or sometimes they are either not practicing. We have introduced a practice sheet where they have to record their practices, bring every time to the class, and it is to be signed by the parent and
Okay.
everything. And around 11 and 12 is when children get busier with other things.
Correct.
And sometimes they just they I think that's a hormonal change or something, a different behavior. There's a change in their behavior around 11 and 12. That's one place where I've seen people quit altogether. And that's the age where parents tell me that, Anjali, she's saying that my daughter is not interested. That is the only reason I have got so far,
Okay.
where she feels that she's getting tired. Or nowadays, though, kids are joining team swimming. The team swimming thing is killing their time.
That's
So many of them are going to team swimming, and which takes a lot of time in their evening. That's what I think. But then another level is high school. High school is kids
it's
get busy or
correct.
something. They're into too many clubs, activities. But once they know they have to find a time and keep a time, many of them will come.
Okay.
After the 12 age they cross, they will find time
That's
to
interesting.
come.
Perfect. I think that's pretty much I had for this episode.
Okay.
Thank you very much for being on the show and giving us the insights about your journey and some tips on the dance. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Saravana ji.
Thank you,
I'm
Ji.
so glad.
Bye.
Thank you.